When our partner makes a move, whether it's for sex or for a connection, can you take a deep breath, close your eyes, and ask yourself, is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a maybe?
Welcome to the Sex After Kids podcast, a place for parents to come and learn together about the sometimes bumpy road back into the saddle of their sex life after adoption, childbirth, or joining a blended family. I am your host, Sophia Ashley, certified sex educator and sex coach, mother and stepmother, and your totally TMI guide to becoming BFFs with your body and initiating easy, connected, and confident, naked, sexy fun times. Here we are, 1 part science of sex, 1 part mindfulness magic, and 1 part straight up real talk to help you find the spark in your relationship and yourself after kids. I'm so glad you're here.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Sex After Kids podcast. Today, we are talking about a sneaky but powerful tool for more intimacy, and that is understanding your nervous system as it kind of functions as a traffic light for sex. So we're going to rock a little metaphor here, and hopefully that's going to give you an understanding of one of these 4 desire drivers or key ingredients to having a great sex life after kids. Let's break it down, right? So green light means you're open, relaxed, ready for play, touch, connection, easy yes, right? Red light, this is your clear and honest no. It's like the absolute in my bones, I do not want sex right now. Maybe you feel shut down, overwhelmed, or unsafe. Maybe you're just literally like very fully, this is not something I'm into right now. No negotiation. And the yellow light is that space in between. It's the maybe zone. And what I want to talk about today is how the maybe zone often gets disguised as a red light. So there's a lot of factors that come up. I'm too tired. I'm too bloated. I don't feel sexy right now. I'm not even in the mood, or I'm too stressed. And they all sound like red lights, but they could be yellow lights. Because I want you to imagine an iceberg with me, and all those reasons, those excuses, those signals from our body are on the top. And underneath all of those statements are all the real reasons that we could be saying no. And all of those reasons are everything from hormones and weight loss and menopause and how we feel about our vagina and all that things, but we can sum them all up as stress on the system. So sometimes there's just so much noise happening in the body that it's hard to catch the maybe. And so we default it to a no. The other piece here that's important is that sometimes we're in a state where there's so much noise all the time that we get in the habit of saying no. It's like our body feels like it's just easier, more convenient to say no, and it's not thinking about the consequences of saying no on repeat, both for us and for our relationship, especially when it's overriding a maybe. So an example of this, I have been there. I've had clients who've said this where like they can tell the partner will make a move and there's a part of them that actually could be into it, but then they feel that louder part of them that's like just so seasoned and comfortable saying no, even when there might be a little window there. So today I kind of want to talk about this like yellow light zone and how to identify it as separate from the red light zone, how to sit there a little bit longer and ask yourself what might take you to a green light, and how as a higher libido partner who maybe doesn't have this experience and feels like 24 hours a day could be a green light zone, how to support your partner to tune into that yellow light. When we say I'm too tired or I'm not in the mood, sometimes those are like legit true. We're fucking exhausted and we just can't make it happen. And sometimes we are just overwhelmed by the day, feeling distant from our body, feeling distant from our partner, or unsure how to like walk over the bridge from parent and co-manager to lover. And sometimes we're in a habit loop where no feels safer than risking the awkwardness or vulnerability of kind of admitting that yellow light space. So the truth is, like, the reality is your red light, your green light, your yellow light, they are all valid. They are all okay. And we need to get to a place in our relationship where they are that. And I think what happens is I see a lot of people falling into the trap where it's either a green light or a red light, and they don't see the possibility of the yellow light at all. Either I'm totally hot and horny and tuned in, or I'm forcing myself. And there's a whole rainbow in the in between if we're able to tune into it. And a lot of it has to do with stress and working with it. So, how do we find that yellow light? How do we find those lights? When our partner makes a move, whether it's for sex or for a connection, and you feel a nervous system reaction, can you take a deep breath, close your eyes, and ask yourself, is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a maybe? And give yourself as long as it takes to find the answer. And if it's a yellow zone, can you ask yourself what your body might be open to right now? Maybe it's a cuddle, a massage, a makeout, just holding hands. Maybe it is sex. And can you practice saying yes to the connection your body has asked for, even if it's not full-blown intercourse? Because when we practice distinguishing a real no from a maybe and giving ourselves permission to do all of them, we open up our space for a space for more authentic connection, right? So instead of forcing myself to have a hug I don't feel like having right now, or forcing myself to have sex I don't feel like having right now, or dragging myself hoping that I'm going to get on board, which sometimes we do, we can instead start from a place of genuine yes. And then we find another genuine yes and another genuine yes. And those genuine yeses build this little breadcrumb trail all the way to what can result in an amazing evening. Whether there were orgasms or not, whether there was intercourse or not, it's still an evening where we were naked and connected and having a lovely time. And the more evenings we have naked and lovely and having a great time, the more strong or the stronger our relationship is going to feel. So for my higher libido partners, instead of pushing for that yes, prompt your partner. So if you go in for an ask and you read the room and you notice there's hesitation, I'll give an example I've shared on a bedroom dispatch where my partner's asked, and I can literally feel myself like deer in headlights, caught right in the middle between half of me wants to / feels like I should / would like to, and half of me is like, oh, it's too much time, effort, whatever. I could go either way. And that's a perfect moment for my partner to like notice the hesitation and go, hey, take a deep breath. Ask yourself what feels like a yes right now, or what could you say yes to right now? And that act of taking leadership, of prompting me to build trust with my own body, of asking my own body what it wants, is the sexiest thing you can do as a higher libido partner. Okay. You can ask, how does your body feel right now? Are you a yes, no, or a maybe? You could ask, if you're in maybe land, is there something you'd like to try? Or what would be a yes right now? Or what would help you feel more comfortable, more open, more sexy, more relaxed? This isn't about pressure. It's about creating safety. We're trying to turn the alarm bells down in the brain so our body can go kind of down the ladder. Because when we're in red light mode, basically our body's saying, nope, we're good. Too much stimulation and input. No more. Thank you. And what we need to do is create a little bit of room, just enough room for our body to go, sure, I could have some of that. And then we create this beautiful, what do we want to call it? Like self-fulfilling or like positive feedback loop where like pleasure helps us alleviate stress. So if I say yes to a 2-minute slow dance and I allow myself to just fully enjoy that slow dance, I've made more room. And then we make out a little bit with no pressure for anything else. And I've made a little bit more room and a little bit more room and a little bit more room, right? This is about taking the nervous system out of overwhelm and creating more room for it to say yes. When we see that most no's, not all, most no's or many no's are actually maybes, especially when we are overwhelmed parents, and we get curious about them, that is when we discover all the new ways that we can get to yes together. So what we need to do is shift the habit from shutting down completely and automatically to exploring what would help me or my partner feel safer, more relaxed, more present, more connected to me in this moment. What's the smallest thing that I could say yes to right in this moment? And when couples work with their nervous system, not against it, everything can change. I have a couple of bedroom dispatches where I dive into this, and I'll share them in the show notes. So a quick example here. There was a day where my partner and I dropped the kids off at school, came home. I knew we had about an hour long window, and I wasn't like, oh my God, I want to rip his clothes off right now. But I was like, I could be down for a connection moment. We head to the bedroom. He's game. He's so grateful that I've initiated some kind of a connection with him. We go to the bedroom and I have this like, oh my God, I don't even know how to make out with you moment. So we stop. We breathe. I close my eyes and I say, you know what would feel good right now is if you peppered my neck with kisses. He agrees that he's willing to do that. I just enjoy him peppering my neck with kisses. And then he shares something that he would like. You know what would feel good for me right now? If you rubbed my back. And we just trade these micro 2-minute exchanges of what feels good. In less than 10 minutes, we are naked, we are making out, we are having a great time. Orgasms and lovely times were had by all. And this is the simplicity of knowing how to work with the nervous system to get out of the awkward, to get out of the overwhelm, to get out of the automatic default habit, no, and tuning into the in-between, that maybe space, supporting each other to tune into that maybe space so we can find our way back to yes, right? And this isn't about higher libido partners manipulating lower libido partners, okay? This is about both of us wanting to have sex more frequently, wanting to have sex that we both enjoy more frequently, wanting to have sex where no one has been cajoled, pressured, or manipulated. It comes from a genuine space of whatever we did just felt good, and I would like more of it. So this is just one of the tools that I dive deep into in the Naked Fun Comeback, which is my signature program for parents. In 90 days together, I teach you how to go through what I call the Naked Sexy Fun Time cycle, where we practice initiating, building the bridge, landing in the moment, and debriefing. So we are always learning together, and you become masters of communication and the nervous system, and you overcome your mindset blocks and your relationship to pleasure in order to get back to more passion, more play, and more sex, even in the chaos of kids. If that sounds even remotely interesting, like something that you remotely want to consider, I invite you to book a free Spark session with me. It's totally free. It's totally no pressure. We're just going to talk about what is going on with you. We're going to talk about where you want to get to, and we're going to map the clearest path and your next steps back to naked, playful fun. Because you, my friend, deserve to be in a relationship that feels like it is thriving through kids instead of surviving through kids. I will catch you next time.
This is the part where we do the end bit, right? My friends, let's take a mindfulness minute here. Take a deep breath in. Open that mouth and let out a big, deep, full body sigh. Voila. Your nervous system thanks you. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that your head and your heart have something new to consider, something new to talk about, and something new to try. No husbands were harmed in the making of this podcast, and a big thank you to my husband for his help and original music composition. Love you, babe. This podcast was recorded on the traditional territories of the Kwanlin First Nation and Tonquachan Council in Whitehorse, Yukon. We acknowledge and are grateful to the original stewards of this land where we get to play, live, and raise our children. You can catch me on the Instagram at the Happy V Project for tips, tools, and anecdotes. And you can also join the weekly-ish newsletter for dispatches from my bedroom and my brain. Catch you next time.